So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today I'm joined by Leo from the band.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Leo, how are you?
I'm doing well, Hector. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Thank you. I'm doing well. And Oria just released, that's the band, they just released an album last Friday, and it's called This Future Wants Us Dead.
That's
So,
right. Very
yeah,
pleasant title.
or maybe this present wants us dead.
Yeah.
So you guys are a group metal band from Greece. Where in Greece are you? Because I see the name, but I can't pronounce it. So where in Greece are you guys from?
Yeah, it's a bit of a difficult word. It's called Thessaloniki. It's quite a long word. It's the second largest city in Greece. And the four of us are based over there. So that's where the album is recorded. That's where the band is from. That's where we do most of our shows. It's
Awesome.
Thessaloniki. Yeah.
Yeah. I love Greek food. I haven't been to
You know Greek food?
I love Greek food. Yeah, I have to go to Greece, but I haven't been. So the band, first of all, like I listened to not only this album, but I listened to your album from 2020. So
Oh, that's right.
I listened to both of your albums, so I could see like the evolution from that one to this one. So so tell us a little bit about how, like, the history of the band, how you guys got formed.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we started around 2018, but the band existed in my mind long before that. So I was in high school, I had the idea for the band, and I wanted to find like-minded people who had the same mentality as me. So I joined up with a drummer first. It's his name is Jordan, and then I found Thanasis from a Facebook ad, and then Thanasis, who's the other guitar player in the band. Thanasis knew Stefanos from university, so the four of us actually joined together in 2018. That's when we had the first rehearsal, and then I had a lot of material written already since 2015, like way before the band was even formed. So with that material in mind, I had basically a record, and then we just wrote we went in the studio in 2019. So the band started basically materializing in 2018.
Okay, yeah, and that's when you released Sublimination in 2020. That's
Exactly, yeah. We recorded the album Sublimations in 2019, and then we released it in October 2020.
yeah. So yeah, and I listened to that one, and I listened to the new one. So I heard some influences that I think you guys have. I may be wrong, but I heard some bands. But I want to know from you, Leo, like what music bands influence your sound?
Yeah, I mean, when we started doing Oria, when I actually started writing material for this band, I never really set out to write something that would reinvent the wheel or anything. You know, I just had some influences. I thought, let's try and make some songs without thinking about what it sounds like too much, you know? So you can definitely hear a lot of influences in the first album, like, one of our biggest influences is Gojira, and then the second one is like Opeth. You can hear a little bit of Meshuggah, a little bit of maybe Korn in the vocals. But yeah, I mean, you can definitely tell that our influences are present in the first album. Still a little bit on the second, but not so much. We set out to do something a bit more us this time around.
Yeah, I heard a lot of Gojira, but
Yeah.
like from the first record to the second, first of all, what I noticed was the production.
Oh yeah.
On the second record, obviously, is way above the first one. Not to say that the first one is bad, but you can hear the evolution, like better production, and also like more of like even though influences on the first one, there was a song out like, yeah, this sounds like Korn. Yeah, this sounds like
yeah.
But you do have a lot of like the way you sing sounds a lot like the singer from Gojira in some parts.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, We actually had a cover band of Gojira before we joined, before we made Oria, and I actually made that band to find people who were good enough to play for Oria. So if they liked playing Gojira, they will probably like playing the stuff that I was writing at the time. So the drummer and the guitar player were part of that band. And then we became Oria. Stefanos, the bass player, came in to fill the bass. And we've been going strong ever since. So the first album basically was an experimentation. You know, we were very young. Didn't have much experience recording or playing in the studios. So we just sought out to do what we felt like, you know. And with this album, This Future Once Is Dead, we wanted to make something a bit more specific, something more with more intention, basically.
Yeah, and it's more of a, I don't know if it's a full concept record or themes, because obviously you talk a lot about like the future.
Yeah.
About AI, you talk about like oppression. Is it a concept record or is it more like themes?
For sure, it's a concept record. We use a story basically as a platform to comment about these topics that you mentioned, like over dependence on AI, technological domination, environmental collapse, or you know, these type of pleasant topics. You know, so we have like a story of an astronaut engineer who goes on a space mission in Mars, and that space mission goes very wrong, and the spaceship there's a malfunction, and they force them to go like 40 years out of their route. So in order to return back to Earth, to make it back home, the main character, the engineer, has to import her mind into a cybernetic body. So in order to do that, she loses her physical form, she becomes a cyborg, and basically makes the 40-year back trip back to Earth. But this Earth is basically 40 years into the future, you know, hence the title. So she must now find her place in that new future, which is not really that far off from ours, you know, if you think about it. So with this environment, with this kind of setup, this allows us to touch on various topics in a more sci-fi sort of way, but it's still grounded and it could potentially happen to our near future, basically. So yeah, to answer your question, it is a concept album.
So, yeah, I'm like, yeah, I thought it was a concept record, and I was listening to it, but I want to ask you, so sometimes, yeah, it's a concept, or no, it's more themes. So the singles that you release, there's the Island Dead and
Yep.
Guided by the Hands of Gods, but Gods is G.O.
That's right, GODS. Yeah.
So why the dots in Gods? Does it stand for something else?
Exactly, yes. GODS stands for Generative Omniscient Decision-Making System. So that's quite a long thing, you know. It's basically like taking a stab at generative AI, like text AI, like ChatGPT. Guided by the Hand of Gods, that song talks about a society where everyone is dependent on this God's system, on the GODS. They're dependent to make their decisions. They can't form their own opinions without it. This system recommends them what to eat, what career path to take, and which person to fall in love and marry based on like cold statistics, basically. And I think it's kind of relevant in a way because, you know, many times we depend on AI to make some, like if you're a programmer and you make the decisions to make code or something, you definitely get advice from AI or you use it in some sort of way in your work. So we're just kind of commenting about that over dependence on AI, basically. That's what that song is about.
Yeah. I can tell you, Leo, I'm proud that I finished college without ChatGPT.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, it makes you think.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a cool song. But I wanted to ask you because of the gods there. I'm like, it has to mean something.
Yeah, it's a good question.
The Island Dead, I love the whistle part that you bring on. Did you do the whistling?
Yeah, I did the whistling actually. Yeah.
I can't.
You can't whistle?
No,
Oh yeah, I mean, I
no.
guess it depends on the person. I
But
mean, I don't know how I came up with that idea. It just felt kind of, uh, I don't want to say natural. I just wanted to experiment, try something different, and see what happens. It just, I think it turned out pretty nice. I mean, it sounds very gloomy in a way. We may add it into more songs in the future. Who knows? Maybe
you
we'll make like a whistle metal in in the future.
band. Oh, that's the band that whistles. No, but I thought because it made the song stand out, and I can see
Yeah.
it as a single because when that part goes at the end, it's almost like it's a you're instead of a solo, you're whistling.
Yeah. Yeah. It's unexpected.
Well, the only time I've heard like a whistle in a song, like a long time ago, was a Rammstein song, the Engel song.
Angle. Yeah. That's true.
But it's not very used in metal. So what's and I saw the music video, which is pretty cool. You guys are playing. Uh, that's how I recognize you. I'm like, that's the singer. I saw the music video.
Yep.
So tell me a little bit about that song in particular. What the theme of that song is.
The theme of that song, it's actually a bit about over dependence on AI again, but in a different way. It's in a more romantic way. So there's this guy, he's stranded in an island, and he has this AI companion on his phone or his machine or whatever, and he is crazily in love with that companion, and he is so isolated from the rest of the world that he is basically stranded in an island on his in his subconscious, basically. So in this song, we mention these dark gray figures that are emerging from the sea, from the island, from the beach, and he sees them as threats. He wants to destroy them. He wants to push them away because he feels like they're going to take that companion away from him. But he doesn't realize that these dark figures are actually there to help him. These dark figures are the loved ones he is pushing away, and by being isolated from the AI companion. So in the end, I like to imagine that these dark figures kind of overwhelm him, and during the whistling part, he's kind of like trying to fight them, but there are too many. And I like to think that he got the help he needed in the end. I like to think it's a bit positive, but it's open to interpretation. But it's basically that sort of thing.
What's scary about that's happening right now? Because I remember
Yeah.
my phone. I remember sent me like an app, like build your own AI girlfriend. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for
Yeah.
who have to have an AI girlfriend, but go out, go. You can meet. You don't have to like. What the hell do you have an AI girlfriend?
Yeah. I mean, I think I've read people actually marry their AI companions. I think some people did that already. I mean, it's crazy. It's
It's
already happening.
stupid, man. I don't get it, but yeah, but it's scary that I don't know, and I can tell by listening to this album, the themes, that you must have grown up watching a lot of sci-fi in the 80s and 90s.
Well, we all have our influences. Stefanos, the bass player, actually reads a lot of books, and he's a lot into sci-fi and a lot of 80s movies as well. But he's very well versed. He's super educated, and he came up with the concept for the album. So basically, with the lyrics, he comes up with a concept, and I do the execution of it. To as a
Right?
vocalist, I feel like I have a good intuition on where to put the words, how to say them, stuff like that. But he is amazing at writing concepts for songs, for albums, you know. So that was a tremendous help and a great cooperation to work with Stefanos for sure.
Yeah, no, that's cool because he comes with the concept and he tells you the concept, and then you're like, okay, let me write around this concept. So it's a very collaborative effort. Yeah, you when you're mentioning this story, I thought because I read a lot of sci-fi books. There was this series of books I read that it was about this guy. I can't remember now the name, but about this guy that dies and then he goes into an AI, and there's like wars and it's like a series of 3 books. But it's kind of funny in a way because in that book, Brazil was the ultimate power of the world. So I'm trying
Wow.
to name, but I read the books like a few years ago. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But yeah, that's like concept. But for you growing up, did you have a favorite sci-fi movie?
Favorite sci-fi movie? Well, I don't really recall a sci-fi movie. I recall the ones I've seen during the last years. Do you know the film Event Horizon?
Oh, yes.
You know that one? If you listen to the first song on the album, when I was writing it, I kind of had imagery from that film. You know that scene where they were like tearing each other apart?
Yeah.
That was what was in my mind when I was writing that lyric, because there is a scene where the other engineers are trying to kill the main protagonist, and it really fits with that concept from Event Horizon. And Alien, of course, it's a classic.
Well, which one? Because
The first one.
I like the one they put out last year, the Romulus one.
I haven't seen that one yet. I have it on my list. I really want to check it out. People say it's great, actually.
I liked it. It's a good movie. Obviously, the first ones will always be the classic ones, but yeah, it pays homage to at least to the first 2, in my opinion. So yeah, so the concept is pretty cool, and I don't. When you popped up, because I'm like, he looks a lot like someone I know from a band, and maybe they tell you this, but you look a lot like Brandon Boyd from Incubus.
Oh, really?
Oh
my God. I've never thought about that. Yeah.
Like you kind of look like him. Yeah.
With the long hair. Yeah. Amazing singer. I love that band.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
They played here in Puerto Rico in March. They did the Morning View tour, so they played Morning View full.
Oh, that's their 3rd album, right?
That's their 4th, if you don't count
4th.
Yeah, because they had Make Yourself. Before Make Yourself, they had Science, Make Yourself. I think it's their 3rd album because You Fundu something. It's like an EP. So
yeah, that's true. Well, I'm a huge fan of the first 2 records when they were really weird, like Fungus Among Us and Science. It's like top records, top notch.
That is true.
Maybe I'll listen to some Incubus later on. Now that you're reminding me of them.
Now
it's
you
been a long
can
time.
just like him. So the artwork of the record is really cool as well. So I want to talk about the artwork. Obviously, it's done by a person because a person did it, because it would be funny if like you're doing an album anti-AI and then the album is
yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, first of all, like who did the artwork and the concept that you guys wanted.
Yeah, of course. The album artwork was done by a really talented artist. Her name is Nasia Stilidu. She's a friend of ours. Our bass player Stefanos knew her and came in touch with her. And he basically told her about the concept of the album. He explained to her what he kind of wants to see as an album cover. And that's where he left her to do the rest. So she just came up with this amazing artwork that we see here. It's basically the main character undergoing her transformation. It's basically the first song of the album, Metamorphosing. Uh, that's being depicted into the album cover. So you can see she has a few human parts still there. She has her spine, a few of her collarbones, her eyes are still there, but she's being slowly transformed into this machine. The soul is still there. You can also see, I mean, I like to think that's her soul. I mean, maybe Nasya can explain it better, but that little golden thing at the bottom, could be on the middle, that looks like her humanity basically. And that's her before as she's going the transformation before she becomes a cyborg.
Yeah, it's a cool artwork, and I like that you guys use a lot of color on that artwork.
Yeah. I mean, the color is done digitally, but the painting is done by hand, like a dot kind of technique. It's amazing. It's really, really cool. I like to hang it as a poster someday, as a frame. That'll be really cool.
Yeah, no, it's a really cool, and you can see Oria in the top, and the future wants us dead.
Yeah.
In the bottom. So the name Oria.
Yeah.
What's the meaning behind the name?
Well, Oria is actually a Greek word. Oria stands for limits in Greek. Like we say limits, it's the plural word for limits. And I came up with it when I was reading a comic book. It was a comic book about a mathematician. His name was Bertrand Russell. He's like a mathematician philosopher. He's the guy who basically tried to prove that 1 + 1 = 2. And the whole comic book basically tells that story. And there's this other philosopher in the comic book who says, the limits of my language are the limits of my world. So I mean, that was in Greek. And when he said limits, he said Oria. And I thought that sounded kind of cool. So I just didn't really think much about it. I put it as a band name, and here we are. That's the story behind it, basically.
It sounds cool, it sounds cool. So I want to ask about the name. So the album is already out. Where can people, is it out digitally, or do you have some physical copies for people who want to order?
Yeah, we have physical copies as well. You can visit our record company's website, Theonia Records. They had pre-orders. Now you can buy it, and you can also buy it from Bandcamp, directly from the band. And of course, if you come to a show, you can basically get your CD. And we'll have some merch with some t-shirts very soon, and maybe we'll look into the possibility of doing vinyl as well in the future, but that's for later. For now, we have the physical CDs and the t-shirts, basically.
Is the t-shirts the cover of the album?
Without spoiling too much, because we haven't revealed them yet. Yes, it will be the album cover, sort of in a different coloration, basically. And we'll also have another design, which I won't.
You won't spoil that one. Okay.
Spoil just yet.
Yeah, no, we don't want to spoil that one. That will be a surprise for people.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
So when can people catch you? When are the next shows?
Yeah, we are planning to do a lot of shows in Greece, first of all. We want to play in our country. We haven't played in a lot of main cities that we would love to play. So now that we have this new album, we're definitely going to travel around the country. And then we have something planned for outside of Greece, but we haven't confirmed it yet. We want to make sure that it will happen, but we believe that after September, things will be announced for sure.
Okay, so They can follow you on the Instagram. Where are you most active in?
Yeah, of course. We are active on Instagram, Oria.band. That's our Instagram account. That's where we are the most active. We also have a Facebook page and, of course, our YouTube channel where you can find most of our music, Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp, that sort of thing.
Everywhere. So yeah.
Everywhere.
So Greece has a lot of like different type of bands. I've interviewed I think 10 bands now from Greece.
Oh, that's
all
cool.
Different genres. So it's cool that I've interviewed many bands from Greece and like different genres, and things, which means Greece has a great metal scene.
Yeah, they're very, very active, especially in Athens, in the capital city. There are lots of great bands, really amazing musicians too. Right now, I see that metal is not really so active in Thessaloniki after COVID, especially. But in Athens, I really see like a comeback basically for after COVID hit. And in our city, I see an uprising of punk rock actually.
Oh,
Heavy rock and punk rock. And metal bands, I think they're a bit fewer this time around, but they're starting to get back on their feet after COVID hit because we were affected by this as well. I mean, we came out with an album during the quarantine, so it was kind of hard to jump back from that, both as a band and financially. So we're very happy to come out with a new album and to have the chance to finally play it outside of our main city of Thessaloniki. We can play it in Athens, in Larissa, Volos, all these great cities. So we're very excited for what the future of this band will bring.
That's why I didn't ask that stupid question, like, why did it took 5 years?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, 2 years almost don't really count when you're when like you were spending it in quarantine. So this album would have probably come out in like 2024 or like late 2023 if COVID wasn't a thing, but hopefully with a third album we'll make it a bit sooner. Who knows?
Are you already thinking of writing new songs, or for now you're concentrating on the future one instead?
It's a mixture of both. I mean, we're tossing ideas around. We like to be very active with what we do. I mean, last week, the bass player Stefanos sent me a concept for a potential third album. So, there's no stopping him. So, got to get back on track, promote the album, and write a new one at the same time.
So you're gonna be the band. You're always gonna be writing concept records.
Maybe, I don't know. You never know, but it's really fun to write within that type of structure. It really helps you creatively. So I'm not really gonna put it off as a possibility,
Yeah. So I'm guessing if you had to what would be if you had to open for any band, which would be like your dream band to open for?
Oh my God. Okay. Let me think about that one because there are a lot of bands and I have to pick one, right? I mean, at the top of my head, Meshuggah would probably be an amazing band to open for. Maybe Slipknot as well because the kid in me would be very happy with that if we opened for Slipknot. Or
Yeah,
I mean, maybe we play.
You wouldn't want after them.
No, absolutely not. I'm just gonna steer off that, just play before and then let them do their thing.
Yeah, that's I remember when I watched Woodstock 1999, when Korn played. After Korn,
Yeah.
Bush had to play. I like Bush, but going after Korn, that's it.
No, it's just not the same, man. I mean, it's crazy.
You can't follow that. You can't follow that. So yeah, Leo, it's been great chatting with you. I think the album is a very kick-ass album. I like the groove. Obviously, now that I know more about the story, I think it's a cool concept for the record. And yeah, hopefully bigger things for Oria. So yeah, maybe you'll get fans from other places that haven't listened to you and be like,
yeah,
let me check this band out. So before I let you go, anything you like to I call them my couchers, to the couchers before we go.
To the coucher. All right. Okay. So maybe I want to add one more thing that I want to let the couchers know. We're actually coming out with a comic book that will be with the album. So people who want to dig into the story a little bit more, they're going to have the chance of reading a comic book that's basically 20 pages, and that's 2 pages for each song. So stay tuned for that. It will come out, of course, this year. It's not really clear when, but it will definitely come out this year. Stay tuned for that in our social media, basically. And other than that, I don't have anything more to add. Thank you for having me, Hector. It was really nice talking to you.
Nice. So yeah, that comic book thing, that's very cool here in Cambria. I have that comic book with the story so people can get. Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, couchers, Oria, The Future Wants Us Dead is out now. So you can, I'll post the link for Bandcamp if you want to buy the CD, and obviously follow the band on the social. So Leo, I want to thank you for joining me from Greece all the way here to Puerto Rico. So
thank you so much.
Yeah, until next time, couchers.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hector. Nice talking to you.
Yeah, the Shield Dude on the couch. And I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.